Welcome back to Droanacharya IAS YouTube channel. I am Dr. Daman Benipal and I'll be presenting you today daily current analysis. In this video, we'll discuss some of the important current affairs which are important from our UPSC preparation point of view. So let's begin with today's video. शुरुआत करते हैं. आज का हमारा पहला न्यूज़ आर्टिकल इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से काफ़ी इम्पॉर्टेंट है. It's about one of the burning issues right now. It relates to China-Taiwan relations. This entire topic is mostly important from our mains perspective. GS paper 2 point of view से topic काफ़ी important है. It's about India and foreign relations में भी आप इस topic को relate कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे आपको China-Taiwan relations के साथ साथ India-China relations, India-Taiwan relations इन सबको study करना होगा. Coming back to the topic, why China-Taiwan relations are important? What's happening? So recently, US House Speaker arrived in Taiwan. US House Speaker Taiwan में पहुंचे and this literally upset China. So the visit of United States House Speaker to Taiwan has upset China, and what's India doing? India is keenly watching all the developments. Now, because of the visit of US House Speaker, even after the warnings given by China, it has created a wide range of tensions between United States and China. And अगर हम इन current tensions की बात भी करें, तो this kind of tensions they begin in 2021. Especially we talk about the tensions between China and Taiwan. Because 2021 में जब चाइना अपना नेशनल डे ऑब्जर्व कर रहा था एंड दे वर मार्किंग द बर्थ ऑफ पीपल्स रिपब्लिक ऑफ चाइना PRC, एंड दिस बेसिकली कोइंसाइडेड with the 72nd एनिवर्सरी सेलिब्रेशंस. एंड इस दौरान चाइना की तरफ से 100 फाइटर जेट्स ताइवान के एयर डिफेंस आइडेंटिफिकेशन जोन में इन्फिल्ट्रेट करते हैं. So China actually breached Taiwan's airspace, and 2021 में अपने 72nd एनिवर्सरी के सेलिब्रेशन के दौरान चाइना ने 100 फाइटर जेट से भी ज़्यादा जेट्स को ताइवान के एयर डिफेंस आइडेंटिफिकेशन जोन में भेजा. एंड दिस एब्सोल्युटली जैंगल्ड द नर्व्स इन ताइवान. एंड उस टाइम पे भी ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड द अलार्म वाज सेट ऑफ दैट China is preparing to take over the island of Taiwan by force. This entire tensions has begun in 2021. तब से लेकर अब तक ही almost after a month or so we always talk about it कि चाइना ने फिर ताइवान की जो एयर स्पेस है उसे इन्फिल्ट्रेट किया है and so on. But this entire round of tensions between China and Taiwan, it began in 2021. Apart from this, if we talk about 2022, Russia's invasion of Ukraine is one big event. And now China is supporting Russia for that. And even for this support, China is facing global criticism, and this has even highlighted their fear. तो ये भी एक एंगल यहाँ पे आता है. Apart from this, when we talk about the US-China angle, so what happened in 2020 जब COVID-19 आता है उस टाइम पे US-China के रिलेशंस काफ़ी वर्सन अप हो जाते हैं. इससे पहले भी ट्रेड को लेकर भी US और चाइना के रिलेशंस दे वर गेटिंग वर्सन अप. COVID-19 आते ही और ज़्यादा वर्सन अप हो चुके थे. एंड जो उस टाइम पे US के स्टेट डिपार्टमेंट्स जो थे दे सेंट देयर हाईएस्ट रैंकिंग डेलीगेशंस till then to Dubai. And during this visit, China again conducted a military exercise in Taiwan Strait. आप जब मैप देखेंगे चाइना और ताइवान का तो यू विल सी कि दोनों के बीच में ताइवान स्ट्रेट है. तो 2020 में when the relations were worsening between US and China because of COVID and trade, at that point of time as well, United States Department, they sent their highest ranking delegations to Taipei, and even then China conducted military exercises in Taiwan Strait. Taiwan Strait, which separates Taiwan from China. So we need to understand that where does Taiwan stand in relation to China and the world? अब यहाँ पे ताइवान की हिस्ट्री जानना इम्पॉर्टेंट है. Taiwan was earlier known as Formosa. It's a very tiny island which is, off the coast of the eastern coast of China. And it is where Chinese Republicans of Kuomintang governments retreated. जब 1949 में कम्युनिस्ट की विक्ट्री होती है, उस टाइम पे जो क्यूमिंतांग के जो रिपब्लिकन्स थे, चाइनीज रिपब्लिकन्स ऑफ क्यूमिंतांग गवर्नमेंट, they retreated to Taiwan. And from that point only, they continued as Republic of China, ROC. तो जब हम द चाइना की बात करते हैं, so that is People's Republic of China, PRC, and Taiwan at that point of time, the Kuomintang's, Chinese republics, they continued as the Republic of China, ROC. If we see the location of Taiwan, it is located in East China Sea and it is almost in the northeastern side of Hong Kong. It's exactly in the north of Philippines and it is in the south of South Korea, southwest of Japan. Very important to see all these countries. Philippines कहाँ पे end हो रहा है, Taiwan कहाँ है, South Korea कहाँ है, Japan कहाँ है. So when we talk about Taiwan, it's in the northeast of Hong Kong. It's located in East China Sea. It's in the north of Philippines and south of South Korea and southwest of Japan. So all that gonna happen in and around Taiwan, it's basically of deep concern for the entire East Asia because of the location of Taiwan as well. Now, how does Taiwan see itself? Taiwan see itself as the geo-sovereign state, but it is unrecognized by other countries. Taiwan अपने आप को sovereign state declare करता है, but still majority of the countries in the world don't recognize Taiwan as a country. All around the world, there are only 15 countries that recognize Taiwan. And most of these countries are very small, and these are very small remote islands, nations basically. Taiwan observe October 10th as the National Day, 10/10, which is called a double 10. It was on this day in 1911 that the sections of Manchu army rose in rebellion and led, ultimately overthrew the Qing dynasty. And this basically ended the 4,000 years of monarchy there. तो उनका जो national day है वो double 10 है. October 10th is observed as the national day in Taiwan. तो now सबसे पहले map work भी यहाँ पे काफ़ी important हो जाता है. You should be very clear where is Taiwan Strait, where is East China Sea, where is South China Sea, where is Luzon Strait. Luzon Strait separate Taiwan from Philippines. And also, as you can clearly see, Tropic of Cancer passes through Taiwan. ये भी चीज़ आपने यहाँ पे एटलस खोल के ताइवान को लोकेट करेंगे. Apart from this, what's important for us to know is what's Indian policy towards Taiwan. ताइवान को लेकर इंडिया की पॉलिसी क्या रही है? So here comes one phrase that we all know, that is One China policy. India does not have any formal ties with Taiwan yet because India follow One China policy. तो हुआ क्या, जब 1949 में चाइना और ताइवान आपस में स्प्लिट करते हैं तो उस टाइम पे चाइना की वन चाइना पॉलिसी आती है जिसमें you only gonna recognize China and there is not an existence of any kind of Taiwan. One China policy, it only recognizes China and not the existence of Taiwan. So India follows One China policy. So following this, we recognize China and we don't recognize the existence of Taiwan. Along with this, however, एक और चीज़ याद रखिएगा, what about United States? क्या United States One China policy follow करता है या नहीं? Answer is yes. Even United States also follow one China policy just like India. And it says that it takes no position on the status of Taiwan and China and wants them to resolve their disputes. That's the statement of US कि हमारा ताइवान के status को लेकर, China के status को लेकर, we have no position. All that we want is that China and Taiwan must resolve their dispute. Well, while following one China policy, India has an office in Taipei that is for diplomatic functions. And there is also India-Taipei Association as well, which is headed by a senior diplomat. So India has we have India-Taipei Association. We have a diplomatic, office in Taipei. And similarly, Taiwan has Taipei Economic and Cultural Center in New Delhi. And both of these things, the Taiwan's Economic and Cultural Center in New Delhi and India's diplomatic office in Taiwan, both of these were established in 1995. Now, if we look at the history of India's policy towards Taiwan, so it's a long history. See, in 2010, when Chinese premier visited to India, India did not mention to support for one China policy. उस टाइम पे इंडिया ने वन चाइना पॉलिसी को मेंशन नहीं किया that we are supporting this. But then in 2014, Indian Prime Minister came to power and he invited Taiwan's ambassador along with the president of Central Tibetan Administration to his swearing. 2014 में जब Prime Minister came into power, Indian Prime Minister came into power, we invited Taiwan's ambassador along with the president of Central Tibetan Administration during the swearing ceremony. Isn't it a big step? And then in 2017, the parliamentary delegations visits and there were some legislature level dialogues that stopped since 2017. Especially around the time when the India-China border standoff, happened. When we talk about 2017 and we talk about India-China border standoff, we are talking about Doklam. At that point of time, all the parliamentary delegation visits, all the legislature level dialogues, all of that stopped since then. And not just in 2017, in 2020 as well, after the Galwan clashes, India handpicked a diplomat in the Ministry of External Affairs to become its envoy in Taipei. 2020 में हमने हमारे डिप्लोमेट को सिलेक्ट किया ताकि वो हमारे envoy बन सके for Taiwan. Later in that year, our government asked two of its MP to attend the swearing ceremony of Taiwan's president Tsai Ing-wen. Virtual mode में तब ये ceremony हुई थी, swearing ceremony, and the government asked two of the MPs to attend it. And when we see the relations between India and Taiwan, the Lee Teng-hui, who's basically condoling the death of the former Taiwan president, India described him as Mr. Democracy. India has given him the title of Mr. Democracy, the former Taiwan president, Lee Teng-hui. He's Mr. Democracy for India. Are you following the events over here? So what exactly is the One China policy? देखो, जब हम One China policy की बात करते हैं, One China principle की बात करते हैं, it basically affirms that China has the sovereignty over Taiwan. China has the entire sovereignty of Taiwan, and it is the cornerstone of the bilateral relations between the US and China also. That you will follow, you will recognize China, not Taiwan, because Chinese sovereignty is there on Taiwan. So if any country wants to establish political and diplomatic relations with China, they will have to adhere to this principle that we recognize China and we do not recognize Taiwan as an independent country. So there's very few countries who recognize Taiwan as a sovereign country. So in practice, this one China principle is a stabilization mechanism. It's a mechanism that will preserve the status quo over the Taiwan's political status, and while allowing it to function as an independent economic and civil administrative entity. But since 1979, China has had to negotiate its international living space. But again, the entire world is honoring the one China policy, and therefore they do not recognize Taiwan. Here, हमें जो इंडिया ताइवान रिलेशंस हैं उनका भी एक आउटलुक पता होना चाहिए. क्या हमारे कोई भी रिलेशंस नहीं है ताइवान के साथ? We have bilateral relations. Bilateral relations between India and Taiwan has improved since 1990s. Despite that, both the nations, they don't maintain an official diplomatic relations. We have commercial ties. Both the governments has launched efforts to significantly expand the bilateral trade and investment, especially in the field of IT, information technology, energy, telecommunication, electronics. इस particular field में हमारे आपस में trade relations हैं, trade and investment. Apart from this, we also have cultural exchanges, because when we talk about Taiwan, Buddhism is the most widely practiced religion in Taiwan, alongside the elements of Taoism. And Bollywood films, they have gained a reasonable popularity over there as well. Along with following Indian culture like yoga, cuisine, Indian dance, so we have cultural exchanges between India and Taiwan. If we specifically talk about trade over here, the Taiwan's relation with India have increased in breadth of spanning the trade, research, academia. In 2019, our trade amounted to $7.5 billion, and in 2000 it was just $1 billion. तो 2000 से 2019 तक हमने $1 billion से $7.5 billion का ट्रेड इंडिया और ताइवान के बीच में हुआ है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, जो तेपेई इकोनॉमिक कल्चरल सेंटर है न्यू दिल्ली में, ताइवान की गवर्नमेंट ने अपने रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफिस को ये नाम दिया है तेपेई इकोनॉमिक एंड कल्चरल सेंटर इन इंडिया, which basically oversees the collaboration which is done on different fronts like education, tourism, culture, media, economic development. And Taiwan's increased investment have occurred in the face of cultural challenges, bureaucratic hurdles, and there is pressure on India from domestic producers as well. Apart from this, India has suggested the possibility of having a free trade agreement with Taiwan, although the discussion is not without precedent, as as the Taiwan maintains economic cooperation agreement with New Zealand, Singapore, both unofficial relationships. तो उसी तरह इंडिया ने भी सजेस्ट किया था कि we will have the possibility of having the free trade agreements. So unofficially, even after following the One China policy, we have this kind of relationship with Taiwan. So then question comes that what is the implication of the rising tensions for India? See, India is facing its own problem with China. When it comes to the issue of line of actual control, LAC, we have our own issues with China. And time to time, because of that, there have been suggestions that India should review the One China policy. It has in any case long stopped retaliating it officially. Use not just the Tibet card but also develop more robust relation with Taiwan. It sends a message to China. हम एक तरफ ये कह रहे हैं कि हमें हमारा वन चाइना पॉलिसी जो है इसे रिव्यू करना होगा, बट even without that, we are retaliating to it officially. चाहे वो तिब्बत का रोल हो, चाहे हमारे ताइवान के साथ रिलेशंस हो, ऑल ऑफ दीज आर सेंडिंग मैसेजेस टू चाइना. India and Taiwan, they currently maintain this trade and cultural exchange offices in each other's capital. And there is one more thing, new southbound policy. It is commonly called as the Tsai administration's flagship foreign policy initiative. So this new southbound policy expands the scope of countries which are covered in the Go South policy. Because of that, through this policy only, Taiwan extended its engagement with Australia, New Zealand, India and other 5 South Asian nations. So, what is the way forward? See, given that India and China's relations are not likely to witness a return to normalcy in the near future, India should consider adopting a bold and comprehensive plus a long-term approach to engage with Taiwan. Because here, Quad provides a platform for India along with other members to talk about Taiwan. And any eventuality in the cross trade, this will impact India as well. So India should separate the bilateral equations from the regional issue. This is a big regional issue. This is going to adversely impact East Asia. It's not just East Asia, Asia itself. So, बहुत ही keenly इन डेवलपमेंट्स को देखें. आपके रोज़ाना न्यूज़पेपर में चाइना ताइवान को लेकर बहुत अच्छे आर्टिकल्स आ रहे हैं. Just develop a depth of understanding from that as well. Having said that, our next news article is about African swine fever. This topic is mainly important from your prelims point of view. You can also find its relevance if we talk about your mains. Health perspective से topic important है. So African swine flu is in news, and because recently the African swine flu has been confirmed for the very first time from a private pig farm in Kerala. More than 15 pigs on the farm had died because of the disease in last 10 days. So therefore, it is important for us to understand what is this African swine fever. So it's a large DNA virus. This virus is of Asfar viridae family, and this is the only virus with double-stranded DNA genome, which is known to be transmitted by the arthropods. ये बात याद रखेंगे. It's a double-stranded DNA genome, which is the only virus which is transmitted by the arthropods. This affects domestic and wild pigs. Symptoms include weight loss, intermittent fever, respiratory signs, there's chronic skin ulcers, arthritis. Acute form have anorexia, loss of appetite, hemorrhage. Most important for us is to know how does this transmit. See, it transmits through natural host. जो आपके warthogs हैं, bush pigs हैं, ticks हैं, they act as a vector. And directly or indirectly, they come in contact with the infected pig, their feces or their body fluids, and then they transmit to the others as well. There is no approved vaccine. The geographical distribution, see, the first case was detected in Kenya in 1909, and currently it is found in Asia, Europe and Africa. As such, we talk about the public health risk, so it's not risky for humans. It is not risky for humans. But the bigger concern over here is that it has high potential for transboundary spread. तो इससे जो ग्लोबल फूड सिक्योरिटी है उसके ऊपर इफेक्ट हो सकता है, जो हमारी हाउस होल्ड इनकम है उसके ऊपर इफेक्ट हो सकता है. सो हाउ कैन वी प्रिवेंट इट? सी, देयर इज एप्लीकेशन ऑफ द क्लासिक सैनिटरी मेजर्स ताकि अर्ली डिटेक्शन हो केसेस की. दे शुड बी ह्यूमेन, there should be disinfection. There has to be stricter biosecurity norms. जिन areas में ये cases आए हैं, there should be a restricted supply from that affected areas. There has to be the proper scanning and guarding of the national parks, wildlife sanctuary, reserve forests, and we need to prevent the wild pig population from leaving their habitats. So these are some of the preventive steps that we can take against this African swine fever. पब्लिक हेल्थ, ह्यूमन हेल्थ के लिए डेंजरस नहीं है, बट स्टिल यू शुड नो some of the important features regarding the African swine fever. So that's all for this article. आज की इस वीडियो के लिए इतना ही. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in my next one. Thank you so much.